This one might get a little spicy, okay? Things that I think now, as I have been divorced for 8 years versus what I thought when I was younger. Next to Jesus, your spouse comes first before your children. And this one's hard to keep in check, and I've been guilty of it so much in the past, but it's true. Do not give a man wifey treatment on a girlfriend budget. Ladies, listen up. I don't think a man leaves because the love is gone. I think they leave because the respect is gone. Your girlfriends and your mother do not belong in your marriage. Ladies, sex is not a reward. It's a responsibility to your spouse. That's a power and control thing, and it just kills the intimacy. Don't do it. I would like to go on a limb and say that arguing in front of your children is not necessarily the problem. Not reconciling in front of your children, to me, is more of a problem. Don't be out here in a relationship acting single on social media. You'll be single in real life. And I'm going to tell you from firsthand experience, divorce does not fix selfishness. It just relocates it. Y'all have a blessed day.
This whole 50-50 thing and 100 thing, no, you cannot convince me that men and women are equal. It is not equal. The minute men can get a period, and the minute men can get pregnant and withhold a child and deal with all those hormonal how do you say? You know what I'm saying. You know, all the things that come with giving birth and before giving birth, all those changes. The minute that happens to a man, and then you can tell me some men is by choice. They start gaining weight because they just can't help it. It's really just them being a fat ass with the mother. If you see a man gaining weight, which that's some real love. If he starts binge eating with his wife, he really loves his wife. Other than that, most of the time though, that doesn't really happen. Yeah, that doesn't really happen. Usually men can go hit the club really while you're pregnant. So that being said, if you're choosing a husband, why are you being so chill about this? Why are you being so chill about this? I know I can't save you, but you scare me. Y'all scare me. I'm scared for your child. I'm worried for your kid more than anything, because y'all think everything is equal, and it's not. It's not. That tells me that you're too chill. You think everything's cool and dandy and everything is just a walk in the park, and it's not. What do you mean you chose? Oh my god. Like, bro. I can't believe this. I can't believe it.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about. I guess I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about in general. Just what are you even saying?
Okay, y'all don't mind how red my face is, but I just wanted to get on here and say that I feel like the world is set up to be against single moms. Like, not even just single moms, just people with low income. Because this is the second housing place that won't accept me because I don't make enough money. I feel so defeated right now, y'all. I'm having to move out of my current house because I cannot afford to live here. And I'm trying to find something to where I can go back to school and I can maintain school, work, and having 2 kids. And I'm trying to get accepted into government housing. But the past 2 times that I have, they literally tell me that I'm not making enough and that I have to wait around on a second assistance, which is rental assistance, which could be up to a year wait. And y'all, I'm just like, if you think I can't afford life, so I can't even move into this, how can I wait a year? Like, when I tell y'all, this is literally, I feel like this is supposed to be my year to feel free, and it's just like, you think being a single mom is gonna be you healing yourself and all this stuff, and it's like really being a single mom is trying to figure out how you're fixing to survive. Like, I'm gonna throw up, y'all. I need to calm down, but I really have nobody to vent to. And I really don't give a who has something to say about me crying on social media. I'm not asking for a handout. I just wanted to vent because maybe some other mothers know how I feel. Y'all. Thank y'all for listening. I'm sorry. I know I look ugly. I probably should not post this, but I really don't give a... I'm already letting y'all know my life already, and I already gave the good news, and I was like, oh, we're going to go into a new apartment, blah, blah, already submitted the stuff, but no, we're not actually. I mean, maybe a miracle is going to happen, y'all, but for right now, it's not good.
Another thing that bugs me is that I think the feminists scared away men from approaching women, because guys will literally be eyeing me while I'm at work, and I'm looking at them like, yeah, I think you're cute too, you know, what's up? And then they'll just leave and not ask for my number or not approach me. Like, I'm not that busy, you know, you can still talk to me while I'm working, but they'll just leave and like, that's it.
This new era of men want to be women so bad. You got me convinced that when I get uninvited on a date, I'm gonna start bringing a bouquet of flowers. Like, here you go, princess, since you want to be a bad.
Just as long as you got those flowers and somebody said chocolate, I'm waiting for it.
This is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but it bears repeating. The T-app is inherently sexist. And it is inherently sexist because its entire concept hinges on the premise that all women are these angelic, perfect victims that always tell the truth and are always looking out for other women's best interest. And that is categorically false. Women are human beings that are capable of both incredibly great things and profoundly depraved things. Navigating this world with the belief that anybody that owns a coochie is looking out for your best interest is both naive and dangerous. Let me remind you that Ghislaine Maxwell is in fact a lady. So sharing personal information to a forum of strangers, regardless of what they have between their legs, is in fact unsafe and not a good idea. Period, point blank.
The pick-me calls are definitely coming from inside the house, because I'm not the one so desperate to find a man that I would upload my government ID to a shady-ass app, nor would I ever conceive of betraying my partner's trust and uploading their picture to a forum of strangers because I was concerned they might be cheating on me. I would have already left, okay? That is insanity.
Men who treat women that they're not attracted to decent is a human thing to do.
That's a human thing.
They also don't get an award for
They
doing
don't get
that.
an award just for being nice to a woman that they're not attracted to.
Even though the men who don't do that exist, the men who do it still don't get an award. Do you get what I'm saying? It's
men
not,
who don't do that need to be burnt at the stake. I think that that's what people aren't getting.
And the men who treat all women decent, you get to live another night. That's your reward.
Yeah.
You get to
reward
live.
is that we're not going to kill you.
We're not going to kill you. Congrats. You get to keep your life.
You know, I honestly think that even if the men were nice and they helped the women out, the women would be upset because the man didn't go the extra mile. Like, I protected you from predators. I walked you to your car. I opened your car, closed it, waved, made sure you got home nicely. But the only thing I didn't do was kiss you goodnight, tuck you in.
Serious question, and I have not thought about this until literally minutes ago. If I were to start a Snow Bunny dating website, would you guys use it?
Honestly, they're going to think of everything to do but the right thing.
The internet is always oscillating between divine femininity and girl boss feminism, and they both suck. Do I have an answer? No, but let's talk about the context. I've been hitting not interested in every single How My Partner I Split Finances videos because the comments are always filled with something along the lines of, well, you're a goddess, so your man should be paying for everything. Now, of course, these comments are well-intentioned, but I always find this line of reasoning to feel oily. The idea that women deserve to be financially accommodated for by virtue of being a woman ties back to the idea that men transactionally provide labor and resource value in return for women's reproductive value. You take care of me because I am going to carry your children. That is how the dynamic has historically played out, and it's rooted in bioessentialist claims. Now, since we've kind of realized that women exist beyond being human incubators, this logic still persists with ideas of, well, I make you look good, so you should take care of me. I am a high-value woman. I am successful and beautiful, therefore I am worthy of indirect compensation. But what does that boil down to? It means you, the man, gain social capital by being in this relationship with me, therefore making you look better to your male peers. This is a very common thought process, and no matter how high value the woman is, she is reduced to a flashy accessory. Notice how both of these thought iterations still feel dehumanizing and neglectful of the connection itself. Okay, so what's the other option? Financially free, independent girl boss. I still don't like this one, but it does promote us to a broader system of power. Instead of bioessentialism, now we're upgraded to class. So sociological background here, most systems of power are formed over economic disparity. We can very easily track systemic biases back to class and socioeconomic differences. So in the Western world, it naturally follows the way ever to climb the social totem pole is to girl boss it up, to work harder. Your humanity is proven by succeeding within the confines of a system that not only doesn't care about you, but is actively trying to make your life less fulfilling. And women are, statistically, really good at this. In practice, how liberating is this really when your freedom can only be found through maximizing your output, both through your labor value, but still also in the traditional expectations of what women should be? And side note, this idea of liberation can create a scary culture for people who are on the lower rungs of the socioeconomic ladder, because it says that yes, there is a way out, but only in a way that contributes to a larger culture that makes us all miserable, which still does suck. It's not changing the rules of power, but more so putting yourself in a position where you can now punch down instead. I'm definitely only viewing this through the capitalist realist lens, and there are definitely more abolitionist perspectives out there, though I do also wonder how we could possibly spread more intense ideologies to actually create change. Whether we realize it or not, most people are very opposed to things that question the current structure, even if they despise the current structure. This video is haphazard and I don't have an answer, so I'm sorry, but I've been thinking about this on and off for like the past year, so I want to put my thoughts all just in one place, if that makes sense. I don't know. I can't be alone in this.
Well, I mean, I think we could say basically, so many words, these women do this because basically what men have been saying. They don't have anything to offer, which is why a lot of them get mad at the question. And here we are again at this question. What in the world do you bring to the table?
All right, not that long ago, my son, he's 12. He says, Mom, I'm going to go fish at the pond. I'm like, great. Text me when you get there. So he texts me whenever he's there. He sends me a picture. 15 minutes later, he's holding a carp. And I was like, nice fish, dude. That was fast. Who the hell is taking that picture? And he's like, oh, this guy I met at the park. He's really nice. To which I reply, yeah, Keegan, most serial killers are. They're not going to tell you that they're going to skin you and wear your little skin suit. That's not how they lure kids to their car. So I'm like, pack your shit, move to the other side of the lake. Tell his sister to watch my other two daughters, and I head down to the pond. I pull up, and what do I see? A brown van with tinted windows and curtains. Because of course it is. So I take a picture of the car, I get out, and I hide behind a tree, and I take a picture of this man's face because it's the middle of a work day, and there's a grown man befriending a 12-year-old boy at the pond. So I get back in my car and I'm watching intently. Don't want to embarrass him, so I didn't make a scene. And he calls me, he says, Mom, I'm hot, I'm ready to come home. And I said, well, that's great. I've been watching you the whole time. Come on into the car. So he gets in the car and I rip him a new asshole. And then I tell him, son, do you think that just because you're a boy, they won't sell you on the market? You got some long ass legs and some pretty blue eyes. They'd pay top dollar for you. And his eyes get all big and he's like, Mom, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, dude, what the hell happened to stranger danger? Maybe I went too far. I don't know. That's millennial parenting.
Nah. Nah, you did what you were supposed to.
So apparently I have pissed off a huge population of middle-aged men.
If you look at my previous post, I did a quick little rant just about feeling like I've wasted time on a date with a guy. He was a very sweet guy. Like, I didn't really say anything bad about the guy. It was just like a bummer that I invested in this guy. Like, we spent quite a bit of time chatting. I told him a lot about my life and vice versa. And I just felt like we had a really good understanding leading into the date. And that's all. Like, I understand that that's dating and it's just part of the process, but I really did not think it was that serious for people to be so mean. I have pretty thick skin, and I know that these things that people are saying about me or to me are not true, and that's fine. Speak your piece. But just a little context to add, that guy specifically asked me after our date, he said, "Hey, I really like you. Logistically speaking, how often could I see you?" And I had already told him my schedule, so he knew, but he just wanted more detail, like location he could see me, like what worked for me, time frames, frequency, all that kind of stuff. Like, he wanted a full rundown, and I was a little taken back, like, okay, that's a lot, like, after a first date, but I respect that he's, being forward and stuff. And when I responded to him, I was transparent and I kind of reiterated what I had already said, and then said the part about if I were to hire a babysitter and stuff, like, I want to make sure we're, like, for sure going somewhere. I'm not just gonna blow money and time if it's not going anywhere. So yeah, and then he said, "I really like you. I'm torn, but I just don't feel like I can get to know somebody with your type level of commitments." And fair enough, I get it. Like, I'm not mad at the guy, I get it. I'm just frustrated that I wasted a good outfit and a time and investment, and I'm not a super open person, believe it or not, as I'm sharing my life on TikTok. I try to keep some things close to my chest, and when you get to know these guys, like, if you want to really get to know somebody, you lay it all out there. And it's just vulnerable and it sucks, and to the guys, like, if you see this and you're a cute guy and you're kind and normal, whatever the hell that is, like, I'm not gonna blast your social media. I don't know. I love a good rant. Who can blame me? But to the men in the comments that are being dicks, get a grip.
I'm not gonna blast your stuff on social media while simultaneously blasting that other dude's stuff on social media. Essentially what happened is kind of like what she said. The guy really liked her, he had been pursuing her, and then he knew she had kids, right? So when they go on the date, she had hired a babysitter, great outfit, and then I think maybe at the end of the date or something like that, he said, or it might have been like a few days or something like that. Basically, in so many words, he sent her a text message, or he sat her down and he talked to her in a very, very gentlemanly way. I don't even know if that's a word, but straight up, "Hey, I'm thinking about it again." That's what he said, based on what she said. "I'm thinking about it again, and I don't know if, you and I are right, just because, it seems like, after hearing more details, your commitment is a lot more than what I originally thought it was." Mind you, according to her, this man had already dated women with kids, so he knows how the game goes. He knows that already. What's happening is, like I said in the other clip, he probably felt like, "I'm never going to get any time with you, and essentially my schedule is going to be revolving around you, and so I'm not really going to have a life." And if I remember correctly, this guy actually did have a very vibrant social life, right? So he could be outside whenever he wanted to. So the fact that he's kind of pulling back and trying to date a single mom, that's already like a hit. But then the fact that you're kind of working off of her schedule and you can never really do what you want to do at any time is really going to turn a lot of people off. Like I said, beautiful woman relatively, but you're going to probably meet a lot of nice guys. You don't seem like a terrible woman, but the man's never going to be a priority of any kind, in any scenario, in any situation.
I just started watching Pop the Balloon, and the funniest part is the women popping their balloons off height immediately. And I could understand why, but at the same time, like, you're 35 and single. And I don't mean that as a dig, but like, clearly you're eliminating a large portion of your dating pool by having an unreasonable height standard that has no correlation to anything of substance, and the man cannot change that. And I'm not here to be on the payroll for the short kings. I just think that people based on ego have prioritized height to an extreme level. It's become an obsession for some women while they're dating, and it's clearly not fruitful because you're either canceling out a large portion of the dating pool that could be husband material, or y'all are dating men who you think are ugly. You're calling them medium ugly, but because they're tall, you're okay with that. That's the face your daughter's gonna have. They be looking like the daddies. Y'all be getting tools in the face, but because he's 6'5", it's like, that's strange.
Why do men like to pull on someone's hair when they're doing them in like doggy? Like, are you trying to be the stallion? Like the princess shining over and you don't have like the swords, you're just gonna use our hair? And I'm like, you don't even like get to see our face because we're like, you know, when you're like way behind us. I mean, why do they like doing that?
Dude in the comments said, riding a chariot into battle. Somebody responded, God bless you, sir. May you come back victorious.
8-year anniversary. Been with this man for 8 years and y'all ain't married yet? No wonder you hate men.
Since we want to make personal attack built like a redwood tree, built like a boys junior varsity high school center on a basketball team. Since we talking about personal lives, I was the one who told the internet I was getting a divorce. Nobody had to find that out about me. But please believe it didn't take me no 8 years. Baby, you got a body like a band. And I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm just trying to drive a Sprinter van.
All that being said, as you can see,
She looked like a transmission. That's a dude in that. I don't want no transmission. That's a dude in that. Evil light skin, Majin Buu in this.
look at us, we're giving the extremes of the human physique.
Well, it's Drew Apple. All the women online say redwood tree man is gorgeous. There isn't a man online that says redwood. Her man is attracted to the essence of a man. Your man is in a relationship where he's the attractive one. He's the arm candy. He might have spelled prerequisite wrong, but you know what you are? Still here. More importantly, I know what you can't spell. Orthodontist. That's a big word for Elmo. You want my clout so bad, Ellen Mayo. Dub!
So apparently Drew Afwalo, I think is what how you say her name, and Brandon Jamal have been engaged in a back and forth. And his account got banned for it. That's what happens when you hold these modern women accountable.
I like your pants.
Thank you.
Yeah. Both of them. Yeah, both. I'll take both.
Which one?
We're twinning. Hey, you don't gotta dive in the pond no more, man. Take it. I want you getting salmonella, whatever grows in that.
Good to meet you, Skylar.
Skylar, easy. That's my brother's girlfriend's name.
Really?
That's his ex's name. I swear.
Okay, that's a time we got him real quick.
Yeah. I told him if he hits it, he gets this 20.
Nice.
Hey, baby. Hey, bro.
Hang out with us, Chef.
Yep. Say it with your chest. There you go, buddy. What you listening to?
Why?
By who? Oh, thanks for the plug. Come on, give me a ride. Come on, bro. Let me hop on your back.
Why does everything have to come with rules and expectations? The funny part is, I guarantee you 70% of men would do.
Yo, I got tears in my eyes because, this is so scary.
We'll have this conversation about expectations when it comes to friends. Let me say it again. Expectations in friend groups. Do you know how crazy it sounds for us to have a conversation and let's say I didn't open up the door for a girl. Let's say I didn't, right? Which I would do 1,000% of the times. And I didn't open the door and she says, as a man, you should open the door. Crash out, just being honest with you. Because let's reverse the roles real quick because we're talking about expectations in friend groups. Could you imagine if I brought my ignorant self on here and said, oh, you can't burp around me, that's not ladylike? Because since y'all want to compare expectations and men being gentlemen, let's have the conversation about women being ladies. You can't smoke around me because that's not ladylike. That's crazy, right? Oh, you can't be highly intoxicated around me because you're not acting ladylike. Crazy, right? Mind you, we're talking about expectations in friend groups. Do you know how tired of a friend group you probably have if y'all sit up here talking about, oh, you're not being a gentleman right now. Oh, you're not being a ladylike right now. If you need someone in your life to pump your gas for you, guess what you need, sweetheart? You need a boyfriend. Find him. Will your friends that are guys do nice things for you? Absolutely, right? But if we gonna be friends, right? We gonna be cool, we gonna be cordial, we gonna do all these things. Don't sit up here and start talking about expectations, because guess what expectations mean? Mandatory. Guess what I'm mandatory to do? Make decisions that I want to do. Can we be cool? Can we do nice things for each other? Will the door be open most of the time? But as I already said, if I don't open the door one time and then you hit me with the as a man, you should open the door, please get far away from me.
That's it, bro. They expect you to be a man, whether you're in a relationship or not. But then they reserve whatever they want to do for whenever they want to do it. I mean, they be talking about, I'm not going to give you girlfriend duties or wifely duties until we're in a relationship or we're married. But truth be told, it don't matter whether they're married. They wasn't going to give it to you anyway. That was just an excuse.
Yes, thank you. Everything looks great. Oh, no, don't touch your plate. You didn't ask for fries. He didn't ask for fries. You wanted a baked potato with your steak, right? Yeah, could we get him? No. No. We're gonna get you what you asked for. That's not a problem, is it? Clarissa? Could we get the man what he asked for? He just works so hard, and I know it's not that big of a deal, but you asked for something. I'm gonna make sure that you get it. Okay, so he'll shut up. Close that pretty little mouth of yours and keep it closed until I have use for it. We'll have another bottle of champagne, please. 2 glasses of water and a baked potato. Repeat that back to me, Clarissa. Perfect. Would you like to try some of my food?
A dude in the comments said, let me go ahead and open up my private browser.
It's nothing worse than this. Like he's a what? But he's cool. Like he's funny, and you look good. Damn, I see why he's like you. I like you too.
Now, although I can appreciate the humor in this video because I think she was coming from a good space. Fellas, I do not regret to inform you, they telling on themselves again. We've been saying this. They love the ancient. They just love them. It's not because good personalities, funny or attractive men aren't good men. Nah, they just like this combination. There's something about it that attracts a woman that says, you know what, he is up. He funny, he look good, he make money. Dang. Maybe I can be the difference maker. He would never be the difference maker. That is who he is. All right. But it all starts out the same exact way. All those stories start out just like this. They go out into the world and they meet that one. And before you know it, he blowing her back out at her crib, drinking up all her kids' Kool-Aid jammers and all that crazy shit. And then once she's chopped liver, once she's no good no more, she's not the new toy on the block, he gets rid of her because that was the contract that she signed at the beginning of their interaction. She just don't remember because at this point her emotions are involved. So she done forgot about all the she done said to her at the very beginning of the relationship. How he here to something, he here for a good time, not a long time. And that's just what it's gonna be. You see the glee in her face. This is blissful insanity, right? She's thinking it's going to be different. In 15 months time, she's gonna be a single mom crying online about how she's gonna be talking about him. And I will be here personally to remind her of this video. You saw why they liked him, and you couldn't live without your own failures. So what does that do? Bring you right back to like that. Y'all keep the change.
What's up? How you doing?
Hold on for a sec. I got to get his number.
Why are you walking away? You can't leave your friend over here.
We're on a manhunt.
You're on a manhunt. I gotta know what this is about. A manhunt.
I'm trying to see if her man is out doing things and he ain't supposed to.
Oh, it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. It's like a whole.
Nah. She's like, I'm not gonna flip out, and then she flips out.
Jesus, that's okay. I'm strong enough. Yes, please. I know I'm kind of flaked all the time, and I did want to. Damn it! Andrew.
No, you're good. My buddy ended up grabbing me, and he was like, "Yo, we gotta get out of here. It's too crowded." That's what ended up happening tonight. I went over to the.
It was super packed.
That's what I mean. So I got there, and I was there for a second, and it wasn't too bad. And then it just started piling in. It was like people coming in by the masses.
I was in a
and
line.
I had to
Never
bounce.
had to stand in a line trying to get into there. Like, what the hell?
So how long has this manhunt been going on? I gotta get updated. What's up?
Like 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So my girl pulled up. And she called me, she's like, where the you at?
I like that energy. I'm not gonna lie.
She's too pretty for that.
They spent all the money on the lights and their rotors are squeaking.
Are we almost there?
What's the destination?
You ever heard
Oh yeah, it's literally right here.
So it's a straight shot. I don't know
What if that dude just tripped and fell in the middle of the street?
That would be super bad.
First of all, she just walked off, kept on walking. When her friend was back, girl, I don't need you. I'm looking for my man. That's what she said. Number two, girl stepped in your way and said, what's up? What you up to? And you see how smooth that went, ladies?
No shade, no shade, no shade. I don't want to sound like a snob, okay? And I'm probably going to get hate for saying this, but going to the grocery store and buying a pre-made bouquet of flowers that's covered in plastic, like those $30 flowers you can buy from the grocery store and be like, oh girl, I got you flowers. You can save that. Like, you can save that. But if you go to your local floral shop, your local mom and pop owned floral shop, and have them make a bouquet of flowers and have them decorate it and make it look pretty and very curated, and it is probably still the same freaking price, maybe a little bit more, but it's not that much more expensive. That eats. I'm sorry, but you could save those raggedy looking flowers from the grocery store. Better yet, bonus points, you can go to your website for flowers. You don't even have to leave your home to order some flowers, and have them delivered to her door, and they'll probably be beautiful as ever in a pretty ass vase. And just on those grocery store flowers, like, you can literally keep those grocery store flowers. I'm sorry.
You guys really got to get out more. I'm telling you, man. These modern women are never satisfied.
How can a man have a 10 out of 10 girl? Beautiful girl. Gorgeous, great personality. Everybody wants their girl. And he still wants to look elsewhere. Wants to look at other women. Wants to... What is that? I'm not saying it's all of you. But why is that? Why is there this line where it's just never enough? Never satisfying enough? What does that stem from? Where does it come from? I don't get it. I should also probably preface that, like, I understand other women exist. I'm not talking about the glance. I'm talking about the, like, lust. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you know.
You know, I find it disingenuous that women will say, I'm not looking anywhere. I'm not looking for any man. As if y'all don't be watching these shows like Love Island, Paradise Island, Love at First Sight, 90 Day Fiance. I was watching something about Bachelor in Paradise or something like that. And it had like couples or something like that. Whatever it was. At the barbershop today. Y'all be watching those shows, and guess who y'all be talking? Y'all be talking about the outfits, but y'all be talking about, oh man, he's so fine. Y'all don't be looking, but of course, because he's on TV, then it don't count. I'm all hooked up on Chris Brown. He got me bent all over for $1,200, but of course it don't count because he's on stage, and even when he does do that to me in the back area in VIP, I'm probably never going to see him again.
Did the car dealership like abolish from there or something? Why don't none of these have no cars? Literally every I come across do not have a car. And these is not even men that are like trying to pursue me. These are just men that I see out in the world. Every I see driving got a furry thing around his steering wheel or dice hanging in the middle of the rearview mirror. Like, where is y'all cars? Why don't y'all have no cars?
Once again, I'm not sure what dude you running into, but always had a car. Always have had a car. You guys are lame.
Man will always judge you for your past. To man, you will be the same as you were before. But in God's eyes, when you repent for your sins and you try to transform yourself for the better, he forgets everything that you've ever done as long as you follow him. You know what I mean? Not believe in him, follow him. That means to get into his word and educate yourself. I have so much to learn when it comes to the Bible, but I've been studying every day so that I can get to know the Lord even more. And I'm telling you, I have no freaking regrets at all. I love it here so bad. I just want to be a Jesus freak. I just want to so bad. I am a Jesus freak, even though I have plenty more learning to do. But man, like, go Jesus. I love that guy. And he loves me, which is most important, because without him, I am nothing. I have nothing. I cannot live this life or do anything on my own. Lean on not your own understanding, but lean on his.
A dude in the comments said, a true man of God won't judge you from your past, because if God brought you together, he must submit to God's judgment. That's part of it. That's part of it. I think what we get twisted, and we're, kind of zeroing in on men following the lead of God. But once again, we don't zero in on women following the lead of a man. It's always an out. It's always an escape. It's always your option to weasel out of something, right? So why are you judging me from my past? Well, I'm allowed to have, preferences. Well, God brought us together, right? But when God brought us together, why did he tell me that I need to be a leader and I need to sacrifice? But he didn't tell you need to learn how to be quiet sometimes. Sit down, listen, control yourself. How come he didn't tell you that? Oh, well, my past don't matter. Right. But once again, when we go through finances and things of that nature, you want to make sure the man is straight. If you go through marriage counseling, they're probably going to bring up, what do your finances look like? Are you able to provide for her? You guys are thinking about having children. Financially speaking, how do you plan on taking care of her? So they're trying to get a financial snapshot of what's going to be going on. And usually the financial burden for at least a significant portion of time, barring any huge medical illness, is going to fall to the man, right? And so he's got to have all of that taken care of. So when a man says, I just want to make sure that this isn't an issue, and starts to talk to you about the things that you've done in the past, because he's looking at, well, God brought us together and this and this. I'm still allowed to have my questions. I'm still allowed to make my decisions in the relationship. We like to say, well, God did this for me. God is doing this as a cutoff point to where the man can't say nothing. The man can't do nothing. The man can't have no opinions. Well, God said it. I guess I got to do it. But when God says something, y'all don't do it. When God tell y'all what to do, and y'all be going to church and don't be listening, come home starting fights with your husband, knowing that the Bible said don't do that. Come home disrespecting and dogging your husband out, knowing that the Bible said don't do that. Thinking about a woman in another clip. They weren't married, but her boyfriend, I think she said, didn't really work out that much, and she did. And she was like, I'm big on working out, and I lowered my standards for him. And, I shouldn't have done that. It's going to be the last time I did that. But basically, I tried to get him to start taking supplements so he could be healthier. Great. But what you're talking about is a tone of, it's a condescending tone, right? Then you nitpicking about him going and taking his son and his ex-wife donuts. He doing the ex-wife to say he's a terrible man for doing that. but he can't even bring me nothing to eat. So then you go and call your ex, who is your baby daddy, to come help you, and y'all are texting pictures back and forth, talking about how he's out of shape, how your ex is much better, and you posting pictures of your baby daddy, which you say is so great, so much better than your current boyfriend. And then you're mad that he broke up with you through text. That's because, once again, y'all be talking about, well, a man should be doing this and he should be held to this type of standard, but y'all don't hold yourself to any type of standard. Y'all just do whatever y'all want to do. Adam's supposed to stay back in the garden, tend to the fields and the whatever it is, name the animals. But then when it comes to you guys, I'm gonna wander around this garden and I'm gonna pick the fruit off the tree and eat it, and I'm gonna give you some. We're not gonna follow directions, regardless of what it is. We're not gonna follow no directions, and then we're gonna blame it on the men, and then we're gonna say the men need to keep on listening, but we're not gonna listen. You can move this out of the Bible. It don't matter what authority. It could be the courts. It could be schooling. It could be even their own parents. When modern women get in their minds that they're not going to listen, they're not going to listen to nobody.
So men are arguing that they don't trust women when it comes to paternity because less than 3% of the 3.5 million babies that were born last year had the wrong fathers. Less than 3% of all babies. That's 97% of all moms were telling the truth as to who the dad was. But men want to argue that women need to trust all men and that not all men are bad men, when over 90% of violent crimes are committed by men. So less than 10% of those violent crimes, we as women should take the less than, and we should automatically trust men. But in their minds, they should automatically not trust women because less than 3% of women lie about who the dad is to the baby. Make this make sense, because I cannot make this make sense. Help me out.
So I think that you might be looking at it from one side of the floor. I think when men talk about this, they're talking about the totality of things, right? So paternity fraud is just another thing that the courts are doing to try to put me on the hook. Society tries to hold me to things that I never even signed up for, things that I have nothing to do with, right? And so when you're looking at paternity fraud, you think about child support, right? It's just another form of, okay, you need to take care of something, responsibilities that don't necessarily belong to you, right? And so when we look at paternity fraud or misattributed paternity, you have that figure that you were talking about at 3.7% of the time a woman is going to be caught lying about the paternity or the child being the father's, right? But when a man actually decides to dispute it or actually get a test, then they found that 17 to 30% of men tested are not the biological father. So that looks a little bit different from the 3.7% figure that you looked at, right? So now we're going from 3.7 to potentially 17 to 30%, which is almost a third. If you look at the high end, right? It's about a quarter of cases. And isn't that what y'all talk about when it comes to IPV, intimate partner mishandlings? I'll say, well, 1 in 4 women this, 1 in 6 women that. And y'all like to quote that as to say that men are dangerous. They're more dangerous, right? And so you start off with, this is little, this is nonsense. But when we see men actually coming in and saying, wait a minute, I want to get tested. Let me make sure this child is mine. We see that 17 to 30% of the time, the man is right. So that's closer to that 1 in 6, 1 in 5, 1 in 4 figure that you were quoting about how men do bad things to women that they supposedly love. Okay. And in some cases, I don't have it written down here, but I think I read it. When the man knows, or he has like a suspicion and he goes ahead and tests it, he wins those cases 48% of the time. So now you're looking at close to 50% of the time when a man says, wait a minute, I'm for sure that's not my child, and he tested, he's victorious 48% of the time, right? But here's the kicker. When you look at court enforcement in many jurisdictions, men proven not to be the father may still be ordered to pay support if they were once presumed the legal father. So I can come in and say, this child is not mine, and I have the proof of it. But because I've been with this child, y'all are going to automatically give it to me. And I might find out the child isn't mine when the child is 3. That means I've got at least 15 more years of paying and supporting something that's not mine. That's how big the implications are, right? And that's just paternity fraud. When we look at child support, the burden of it, 85% of all child support payers are men. And it really doesn't matter what a woman decides to divorce for, or leave for, or what the situation was. 85% of the time, the financial burden is going to go to the man, right? So when you look at the enforcement of that, men face wage garnishment, license suspension, and jail time more often than women do for not paying. Women are out here getting a slap on the wrist, okay? When you look at custody and divorce outcomes, custody attribution, mothers get about 65% of custody time versus fathers getting about 35%. When men contest custody, fathers win custody of the child about 17.5% of the time. At trial, fathers win about 60%, but trials happen only in 4% of the cases. So basically what you're saying is, in order for you to get the child, they're basically giving the child to the mom, and you're going to be once again strapped with the financial burden. Unless you really got money to fight it like that, you're going to have to shut up and take this L, is what they're telling the man. And so when you look at that, plus divorce outcomes, when in these divorce settlements, the man who has been working this whole time, usually the higher earner, so he's losing more of his assets, thereby once again leaving him with more of the financial burden to give away what he was working for and then go get more of it. You're starting to see the picture now? Okay, so when we look at court and sentencing biases, let's move to something a little bit more criminal, okay? Sentencing length. Men receive prison sentences 63% longer than women for the same crimes, okay? Men are, when it comes to the likelihood of incarceration, men are more than twice as likely to be incarcerated for the same offense, okay? When you look at states doing away with the prisoner, I'll say it like that, women make up less than 2% of that population, right? Despite committing 10% of the human eliminations. So when they commit human elimination, then the courts say, well, you know what? It wasn't that bad. Like one of those shows that I was watching where the woman eliminated her daughter in cold blood, described it on a radio station, and then still got 10 years. 10 years for that. A man that did that, they would have painted a picture and put him on the end of life row. I'll say it like that. So what they're continuing to say to you is that it's not just about paternity fraud. It's about the system of things. You guys say that you're the only ones going through stuff, but men are trying to tell you, no, we have our share of issues as well. Y'all just don't like to look at them and see them for what they are. And you act like they don't exist. And they're overblown whenever we talk to you about it.